Well, I graduated from Cathedral Prep on Sunday, June 11th, and one of our teachers up there was Mr. Freeman, not Jim Freeman, who was here, but his son Tom, and he wanted me to come down here for engineering. So that was the path I chose to follow, was come down here, and I came in as a student. But at that point in time, you could work all summer long as a regular job here, and then even during the year I filled in. I think we were allowed 20 some hours a week we could work. So I actually walked in here on Monday, June 12th, 1978. And I've been here ever since. Went through the engineering program here and just kind of stayed. And I've done everything from carpentry work to a little bit of other things and that, but mainly electrical, which is what I study. It's interesting. I mean, it's been a very interesting, never the same thing from day one to day two. It's always changing. But when I came here, the furthest north this campus extended was Finnegan Hall. The furthest west I think it went was our maintenance shop at 7th and Myrtle, and as far as south it was Zern, and that was it. And I've seen it grow to all those buildings. I mean, North Hall, I watched that go up, the football stadium, the buying of Harborview, Scatino Hall, all those buildings, everything like that, I've seen them all come on board. So we went from about 6 or 7 buildings to, I believe we're over 60 now. So I've seen that come through, and you know, just get to watch things like the fiber optics. When that came through, back in the late 70s, early 80s, we were under this idea that they were gonna put conduits underground around here. And I remember asking my boss, Jerry Spinks, at the time, I said, for what? Because at this time, the computer center was in Russell Hall, which would have been behind us over here. And that computer center was really a lab that had 2 modems with a phone. And you'd have to dial up General Electric on the phone and then hang up, and we were connected from here through GE's lab. There were 2 of them. That was a computer system for the whole school. And he said, by the time you retire, you'll see a telephone and a computer on every desk in every room in this place. And I look back at it now and think, you know, this was a guy that was in his late 60s getting out of here, and how far ahead of the time he was at doing things like that. Watch that go in. We've watched a lot of the superstructures, a lot of the different acquisitions like Villa Maria. When we merged in with them, that brought a whole influx of students, faculty, all types of stuff, and some really good programs that we got. Football, I remember when we started football up again for the 2nd time. Just all those kind of things like that. You go back and you think, wow, it's been a long haul. It really is. It's a lot of cliche where people say it's a family, but it really was a family. It really was a tight-knit group of people that were here, and we all enjoyed each other's company. We all knew each other's kids, your families, everything of the sort like that. And we all just kept in touch, and it was a nice place. You could always joke with somebody. You could always, I mean, Dr. Peterson, who was the VP of Academic Affairs, would be equivalent to the provost now. Every day you saw that guy, he had another joke for you, and you had to be ready to stand there while he got done telling you the whole thing. And they were usually pretty funny too, but he was quite the character. Just the crew that was here, we had a really good time. The real legends were the human beings that were here. Part of this whole 100-year anniversary, you know, trying to bring out the people. Because when you say Gannon University to a student now, Gannon, is that a place? Is it a company? You know, not many people know that it was a bishop, an archbishop, with a really way ahead thinking for his time to do what they did and put this together. And the faculty that we had, I mean, some of the people that I've worked with have been absolutely stellar. Dr. Agarwal is still here. Dr. Stan Zagorski, Father Joe Gregor, great friend of mine. just passed away a couple of years ago. Those guys built this place, literally pulled it together, and I'll tell you the truth, they weren't shy about cracking down on these kids either when they were in class. I still remember Gregoric yelling, well, what would you do with this? Yes. Okay, and what if this? Well, yes, yes. And what about that? Wrong! You just killed the man. Now sit down and let's do this again. And he would take that kind of approach, but I said, what am I going to do? I have to make sure they know. They can't do that. They got to think this through. And look at the people. If you go, like I've done a couple surgeries here that I've had to have done, I always wear something Gannon when I go in, because it's either the nursing staff, the radiology staff, or any of those people. Oh, do you work down at Gannon? Do you know anybody? You get a little extra treatment off of that, I think. But there's a tremendous amount from the medical profession, the sciences, all those people, and then just the people that were here. Bruce Morton Wright, who ran the chamber orchestra here for so many years. Absolutely wonderful guy, way forward thinking. His idea was doing an orchestra for free. 20 or 30 years they were out and did concerts. He never charged one dime for admission. He found grant money, he made it work. He had an endowment going and stuff. And I always remember Bruce had this a dark blue and light blue van. It was a huge van. And every time they had a concert, you'd see him out there loading the timpani up, putting them in, and carried his own stuff out and did it. And they were on par with the Philharmonic. Matter of fact, a lot of the musicians used to play for him from the Phil. Those kind of people. They started the concert band. He's the one really that enamored Mr. Schuster, who owned Warren Radio and a bunch of patents and stuff. He kind of dragged him in here because Schuster was a great patron of the arts. And, you know, Schuster Theater, Schuster Art Gallery, all that is because of that work. He'd left us a very large endowment that they're still using even today. But it was because of people like Bruce that brought it in. Probably the nearest and dearest to me was Joe Lucky, who, you know, people hear the name. Sadly, he's been gone about 11 or 12 years now. I got to work with the guy for 30, and he was an absolute most positive human being you'll ever want to find. You could be a student that had an overflowing toilet and was running all over the place and go bang on his door, because he lived here on campus, at 3 in the morning, and he'd come out and, oh, okay, I'll be over, we'll fix that up, take care of that. And that was just the way he approached everything. He did all that for the kids, for the students, and as he used to love to say, for Mom Church, because as long as it was within the diocese, for the longest time, we were the only institution that really had a maintenance crew. So it would not be unheard of that, hey, you guys need to go up to Holy Rosary today. They got a problem. They lost the heat up there. See if you can help figure that out. Or go out to Villa Maria and figure out what's going on there. And we did do a lot of that stuff. Gannon was a big resource for those places. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing of being like a home. You come here every day, get very used to it. You think about it not only when you're here, like I guess regular employees do in places. You think about stuff in the middle of the night and make a note for yourself to do stuff. It's just been an ongoing part of you. It becomes that way, and you want to see it succeed. It's gratifying to see the kids coming out of here, like the white coat ceremony when they do that, or when, you know, the girls will come out by the sign out front and have their pictures taken in their robes and everything's getting ready. It's really gratifying to see how many kids we've launched. And I think it's funny to see the alumni that come back to actually know a whole lot of them. Kids of the kids now we're seeing. It's kind of interesting for that too. But just a whole lot of family, I guess, is what you'd have to say. It's pretty amazing, I guess, because I probably, like anybody, didn't think I would be here this long. It just turned that way, and that's, you know, sometimes God has a way of putting you where He wants you. So hopefully I didn't miss the cue and missed out on something, but this is just where I was, and watched it all happen. Watched it grow from a very small operation into quite the large one.